What's up, everybody? Welcome to the New York Sports Take. We're here to talk about the 2026 NFL Draft. We're going to get you set with our previews, our predictions about where all of the top prospects lands. We have a lot of blue chip guys in this draft, and we're going to get into all of it. We will actually only be predicting the top 15. Obviously, spend a little bit more time on our local New York market teams, the Jets and the Giants. And we have a little quad box working here today. We got three fellow co-hosts, first time doing this. We've had three people on before, but today we got Tom Fitz, Jake Rigo, Andrew Nadler. What's up, fellas?
Yo, how you boys
How we doing, boys?
It's always
Chilling.
We had to promise Drew that he can get his little Eagles message in at some point or another. So even though they don't pick till way late in the first round, we'll let him yap about Philly for a little bit. But let's get into this from the top, guys. This draft, I have heard so much back and forth from all these analysts and Daniel Jeremiah and Peter Schrager. The Jets, as we're just about to get into, the seesaw has been shifting back and forth constantly as far as who they're going to go with at number 2. The more recent reports have indicated that David Bailey's picking up steam. That's been about the past 10 to 14 days. A lot of reporters are leaning towards Bailey, so there might have been some leak in the Jets building. Don't know. We'll get into that, but there's one team where there's no leaks, there's no rumors, there's no BS. We all know what the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be doing with the number 1 overall pick, and that's draft Fernando Mendoza, the the Natty winner, the Heisman Trophy winner of this past season. Mendoza, I give him a lot of credit because everybody forgets going into this draft who the top prospect quarterbacks were of this class. And it was sort of a mixed bag. It's not as high as the 2027 class, but Drew Aller, Nussmeier, the kid from LSU. Nobody said Fernando Mendoza. Nobody even had him in their top 5. This kid emerged out of nowhere this year. I know he had a great supporting cast. People don't think he has the highest ceiling, but dude, for him to be the consensus number 1 overall pick, granted a weak quarterback class, and we all know all the circumstances, you tip your cap to him. He had a great year. He was fun to watch. I enjoyed the playoff games, watching him ball out, and he deserves this. So, I mean, if anybody wants to add anything, how they feel about Mendy, if you think that he's going to be extreme bust. I know the main NFL quarterback comp that he gets is Jared Goff. Look, I think the Raiders would sign up for that as far as stability, but yeah, that's the number 1.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what you said, the comp to Jared Goff. I think that's a fair comparison. You know, like, look at a guy like Jared Goff. He doesn't do the most, but he gets the job done. He's very efficient, as Jake believes. But anyway, back to my point. You bring up the point, like Mendoza, supporting cast. But when you watch him at Indiana, he's the ultimate team guy. He'd die for any of his teammates. And that's the guy you want leading your team into battle every week.
Absolutely. You know that this is going to be a dude that's going to be a scrapper. And Jake, you can add something in a second. But this guy's going to be a scratcher. He's not going to quit. He will not roll over and die at any point of his NFL career as the Mets inch closer to a win. Did anybody have anything else to add on Mendoza?
You want to go first, Jake, or you want me to go?
I'll go. I would say the Raiders had a killer offseason this year. They got their center to block for Mendoza, and they got a lot of defensive players. I think they spent the most money in the offseason. So they're ride or die with Mendoza, and this is the right move for them at 1.
Yeah, I think obviously it's a no-brainer. He's the best player in the draft. And I think, like you guys mentioned, I think he's a winner, most importantly. You know what you're going to get from him, and he's going to make his teammates better. I think Jared Goff's a good comparison. And Mendoza, when he has to, he could squeak it out with his legs, too. So, overall, he's just a winner, makes his teammates better, and it's a no-brainer. I wish the Jets had the first pick.
Best thing I read today, a free bingo space for all mock drafters, everybody out there. We can all agree that his name will be called first by Roger Goodell at the podium tomorrow night. Okay, let's go. Second overall pick, New York Football Jets. I shouldn't call it. That's the Giants thing, the football, iteration there. But 2 picks, fellas, in the first round. Number 2 overall and number 16, along with 2 in the early second, number 33 and number 44 for our New York Jets. We got 3 out of 4 of the people on the feed here tonight are Jet fans. And here is the notion going into the second, as far as the second overall pick with the Jets, and we'll talk about 16, and obviously most of us think they need a pass catcher there. But at 2, I feel like most Jet fans and writers and everybody that's commenting on this out there is pretty much fine either way that they go. And I do respect that opinion because I think that David Bailey is a really good football player. I mean, he had 14 and a half sacks, I think, in college last season. He's explosive off the edge. We know he's got the smaller hands, but a really good football player. Top 10, top probably 7 pick no matter what. He'll probably go to Arizona, actually, at 3 if the Jets don't end up taking him at 2. With that being said, the Jets will have royally and massively screwed up big time if they do not pick Arvell Reese at 2. I am not your average Jet fan on this take. Most people don't care one way or another where they go. The Jets have to take Arvell Reese. He is it's hard to project anybody as the best defensive player in football, but we talked about Mendoza garnering the comp to Jared Goff. Arvell has Micah Parsons' potential in there. I really think that he does. 6'4", 241 pounds. He's younger than me. Born in 2005. I think his birthday is like August 17th. So he's about a couple of weeks younger than me. So still a ton of room to grow. And he's got those traits that Micah has and that Abdul Carter had going into last season. Obviously, the off-ball linebacker prowess that he has, along with being able to line up at the edge. And the thing that's really pissed off me, guys, and the reason why a lot of the analysts and people out there saying that the Jets should go with Bailey over Reese at 2 is because of the whole floor thing. That David Bailey has a higher floor. He's more NFL ready-made, ready to make an impact on a team now than a guy like than Reese. But that's absolutely not true. I think with his size and frame, Reese can come in and make an impact day 1 for the Jets. That's my guy at number 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If the Jets don't take Reese at 2, they fucked up.
I'll back you up. I'll back this. You bring up David Bailey. I've seen him play in person. He was at Stanford. Guy was a game wrecker. And you bring up Arvell Reese and the comps to Micah Parsons. The one big red flag I have for Arvell Reese, this is not being an Ohio State hater, as a Michigan fan, as a football fan and a football watcher and enthusiast, these hybrid defensive players, Isaiah Simmons, Micah Parsons, when he came in, these outside linebackers who can't cover. And I think that's the biggest red flag is, can he cover, or is he just an edge rusher? And he'll end up like a Micah Parsons, or he's going to end up like Isaiah Simmons, who I don't know where that guy is at. That's the one discrepancy against him. I'm not going to sit around and say, oh, he sucks. The guy's an all-world talent. He wrecks games. But it's like, come the NFL, he might have to pick one. Will he be an outside linebacker, or will he be a defensive end?
Yeah, and box score merchants and people that just look at that, they see the sack totals for David Bailey in comparison to Reese, who didn't really have the production as far as Reese did with 6.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss in 2025. That's not the way to assess him. He explodes off the ball. His athleticism, his freakish versatility. Apparently he's a really upbeat, competitive guy, and he is going to be able to fly. Because the explosiveness is something that everybody's talked about with Bailey, but the explosiveness is more prevalent, quite frankly, with Reese. And that's why I think he's going to have no problem being an edge rusher that can make an impact day 1. Everybody's acting like it might take 2 to 3 years for his motor to turn up. I really don't see it that way. I think he could come in and be very effective at both positions early on. Jake and Tom, the floor is yours. I know coming into this, I think you guys are more average Jet fan where you sit with this, you wouldn't be pissed about Bailey. But go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I would love Arvell Reese. You know, I'm an Ohio State fan. I've seen every game this past season. And the way I see this dude tackle, get to the quarterback, he is like a perfect Jet in my eyes. I would love him to fucking bleed green for the rest of his life. Please make it happen.
It's
Please.
funny. It's funny you
Please make
say
it
that.
happen.
Yeah,
Jake, Tom, really, I'm sorry. Jake, you bring that up kind of like funny. You say like a Jet as the Mets finally won a baseball game.
I know.
Jake, you bring up like he's
They
like
finally
the
won.
Jets. The guy is like a jet. Just
Yeah,
takes
he's
off.
a cannon. He's a cannon.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry, Tom. To
and
interrupt.
also the way I saw him go after running backs on like screen passes as a linebacker, like this dude, he's gonna be a stud. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's gonna be a stud. And if we get David Bailey, which they're projected to get at pick 2 here from ESPN, like I wouldn't mind it, but in my heart, I only want Reese. So
yeah. I mean, I also agree. I want Arvell Reese. I think he's the best player at number 2. Unfortunately, as a Jet fan, I think we might go with David Bailey, but I don't think that's the right pick. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be too pissed about it. Those, like, even the small differences add up, especially when you're a team like the Jets. Like, we need to nail every single pick. Like, we've been so bad for so many years. We don't have the option to, if we miss on a guy a little bit and we didn't take the best option, we don't really have that luxury anymore. So we've really got to nail every single one of these picks. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and one thing I have to add too is, well, I have two things. Well, I mentioned it at the top, but it's kind of worth repeating. The fact that, like, the betting odds, I actually placed a wager on Kalshi a few months ago that the Jets were going to take Reese too, because at that point in my mind, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer. And literally, guys, what did it feel? It felt like around 2 weeks ago, all the reports from a lot of the Jets beat and the local guy, Rich Cimini, Connor Hughes, a lot of the guys that cover the team very closely, it started to get a little bit more out there that the front runner was David Bailey. So clearly, I don't know what to believe at this point. There's so much chaos, and teams can change their minds on the day of the draft. So to me, it really feels like a coin toss at this point. I would say 60 chance, just gauging it where I'm at right now, that they draft Reese. Lock in my prediction. I think we'll do the right thing and get Reese, but I'd put it at 60-40 as it stands right now. But it was interesting to see the push towards Bailey that's been reported over the past couple of weeks. Also, I said I wasn't all that concerned about how the floor for David Bailey is higher than Reese and he could come in and be ready-made. It's also worth noting a lot of people, well, Bailey also is better schematically because Glenn wants to run a 3-4 scheme, which is, going to be their base scheme in 2026. Well, Aaron Glenn kind of shut that down. He basically said there's going to be elements of 4-3, there's going to be elements of 3-4. They're going to shift things around. Glenn likes to show multiple different packages and fronts and move things around with his front sevens. It's not like David Bailey just fits everything that they want to do. If anything, with all the adjustments that they're going to be making defensively and all the shifts that they're going to be doing, Reese is the better fit because he can move around the line of scrimmage a little bit better and fly off the ball for multiple different angles. So, look, I'm not going to pretend to be pro scout, but that's just the 2 cents I picked up from it. And Reese is the no-doubter in my mind. So, very excited when the Jets are on the clock tomorrow, and we'll see which way the cookie crumbles. All right, Cardinals at 3. This could be very, very contingent on where the Jets go at 2. They need edge rushing help as well, but at the same time, they're like the Giants. They have a lot of positions of need right now. Running back being one of them, but with me predicting that the Jets go Reese at 2, the Cardinals need a lot of help defensively. Last time they had an explosive edge rusher was with J.J. Watt, and that was on the way back end of his career. They need some. They need defense, and they need a defensive impact player. So it feels like a perfect falling down to them. I think the reports have indicated that they like him if he's available at 3, and it would just make sense if Reese is already off the board. If Reese is still on the board, the Jets are stupid and go Bailey at 2, then obviously the Cardinals will probably pick Reese. But for me, it feels like one of the two, even though they need running back. But I think Jeremiah Love is still on the board at 3. I say that the Cardinals go with David Bailey.
So I'm going to disagree. I think they're going to go tackle, and I think they're going to take Maui Goa at number 3. Because like there's so much defensive talent in this class where it's like they have so many problems. Their offensive line being one of them. Where it's you draft a guy like Maui Goa at number 3, who we've all seen. It's just it's the right fit. You'll plug him in day one. He's going to be your starting right tackle on week 1. That's just my opinion. I think they're going to go tackle at number 3.
Yeah. You guys want to chime in there?
Yeah, I think they're either gonna go Bailey or Reese, whatever they choose, whatever we choose, they'll go. And also, I'm seeing a lot of they may get Love as the running back from Notre Dame. They may get him.
They need a running back. I mean, just as far as positional need, I think the edge and Maui Goa are just bigger priority positions for them.
Yeah, it says edge rusher and offensive tackle are obvious needs for the Cardinals. So, yeah, it's either what Drew said or it's whatever we said. I agree.
Yeah, it's if the Jets take one, they're most likely taking the other. Or like we all said, Jeremiah Love is also could be an option too. I watched him at Notre Dame, and he was an absolute beast. I see his game translating well to the NFL as well. So I think it comes down to a lot who the Jets go at too, which we're all not certain of. So I'm sure they probably don't have their minds up yet either. So they gotta,
Yeah, much as there's been so much buzz about Bailey to the Jets, there's been a lot more buzz as opposed to when the season ended and people were first making their first initial mock drafts. A lot of people had Maui Goa as an easy pencil into the Cardinals at 3, but much like Bailey with the Jets becoming prevalent the last couple weeks, now it's really the Cardinals taking whatever edge the Jets don't take. That's been picking up a lot of steam over the past couple weeks, so I will hop on that train. All right, then I think that Jeremiah Love makes it off the board at 4.
Yeah, for real.
I think we're going to agree.
It feels like that's what's going to happen. And look, man, Robert Saleh, we all know him well. He was a coach with the Jets for, 3 years? 2.5, 3 years. And he loves his defensive playmakers. And, the Titans have seemed to pick from the New York apples on the tree every which way as far as free agency this year. I mean, Brian Dable comes in. He gets Wan'Dale Robinson. On the defensive side of things, Saleh gets the job over there. They pick up Jermaine Johnson. So a lot of former New York football players have been headed over there. But, I mean, you're pairing it with your top overall quarterback last year in Cam Ward. You get him another dynamic playmaker on offense. They need some more dynamicism on the offensive side of the football. We all know how special Jeremiah Love is. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate last year. He's a 3-down back. It's just great. And they need another playmaker. They don't have any special wide receivers over there. So, I mean, you pair a mobile quarterback with an ascending arm with a top-tier running back, a guy with gold jacket potential, as they say, potential Hall of Famer, that makes the most sense to me. I'll say Love at 4.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. You hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah, Love is the clear cut.
Or they're the stupidest franchise ever.
I think they might go with Sony Styles.
Oh my God, what a reach! That is such a reach. He's even.
I think Saleh loves his defensive guys, and people are comparing him to maybe even like a Fred Warner. So I think, trust me, if you know Saleh, he loves his defensive guys. Matt should know that.
This is interesting. This is not really like, it's. If you agree with me, you agree, but I really have no fucking clue what the Titans are doing. They very well could go with Styles. Dude, Styles.
I think that's who they go with.
Yeah, I think Styles since the Combine, people have really fell in love with his story and what a leader he is. I read today that he's probably going to be a CEO when he's done playing. That's what the scouts are saying.
Saleh loves that stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Saleh, Mr. Run up and down the 300 level stairs before the game starts. He wants intense guys, and Sonny's one of those dudes, man. He's probably I mean, there's a few players in this draft where you know that they're just going to be really good football players. And I understand that, inside linebacker is not one of those premier positions where you want to pick as high as 6, but Sonny Styles is going to be really good at his job playing linebacker. It feels like a given for them, and I don't know. That could be very appealing to Robert Saleh, so I respect that take as well.
Thank you, Matt.
Drew's not buying it, but yeah.
I will say this about Sonny Styles. The guy was projected to go at the end of the first round, maybe early in the second, until the combine, which are simulated drills, where it's like, okay, he jumps fast and he jumps high and he runs fast. Obviously, the tape's there when you play 6 years of college football, where I think it is a big reach at number 4, where I will probably fall off my couch hysterically laughing if they do that.
Yeah, especially just because the nature of the position and everything like that. But he is he does force turnovers. He is a playmaker. That's been a knock on his counterpart Caleb Downs, which we'll get to. But definitely, I can't. That's the most wild card to me. I feel like for the meet in the first 5 at least, where as far as where the Titans go, I think it's equal as far as if they go big time offense or big time defense. Okay, let's move down the list here. That brings us to. We don't have our resident Giant fan of the podcast on with us for this one, but brings us to the New York Football Giants, who had the 5th overall pick in the NFL draft. Listen, if Jeremiah Love's still on the board, I know a lot. It doesn't make a lot of Giant fans aren't in love with the idea of it because they feel like they have enough in the running back room with Scat and with Tyrone Tracy, but I feel like that makes the most sense for them. Unfortunately, for my prediction, I do think that the Titans will end up going with Love at 4, but if they don't, I wouldn't rule out the New York Giants to pick him. But for the sake of the exercise, I say that Sonny Styles ends up falling to the New York Giants. Their linebacker room is so thin. It has been for a few years. Last year, their best inside linebacker, and Micah McFadden, goes down, I think, week 1 with season-ending injury against the Commanders. They've been lacking real depth, real playmakers at that position, impact guys. It was a major issue for them last year, the linebacking rotation. And you're going to bring in a guy in Sonny that's going to be a playmaker day one. Drew mentioned all the years in college. I mentioned the propensity to be able to make big plays and create turnovers. Giants need one of those guys. They need one of those guys on defense. I think it's a home run for them if they can pick up Sonny Styles at 5.
100%. If he's there at number 5, they're going to take him. And if the Titans do what Tom said they will and draft Sonny Styles at number 4, and they don't draft Jeremiah Love at number 5, Joe Shane needs to get banished. Get sent to the Shadow Realm if that was to happen. But for the sake of the exercise, as Matt said, I do think they're going to take Sonny Styles at number 5. Bit of a reach, but I could be wrong. I'm not a GM for a reason.
Yeah. As far as you say, bit of a reach. As far as like best player available
Best
left.
player available, he's going to be Caleb Downs is a much better football player than him. But for the sake of positional needs, I think they're going to need a linebacker a lot more who is that athletic and superhuman. Where I think they'll take Sonny Styles, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. We're not in the war room making these decisions.
We're in the war room right now, though. We're in the New York Sports Take war room.
Jake, you want to go?
I think we should have a live broadcast tomorrow.
But Matt here, Sonny Styles, I think that's the pick. If not, it's Caleb Downs. But it's either Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs.
What if you think a possibility, Jake, if Jeremiah Love's there, that they take him?
I was just having a conversation with one of my boys about this. He was like, "Do you think Love should go to the Giants at 5?" And I'm like, "Don't they have Scatterboo? Like, why would they need Love? You know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't like that move." But
Yeah. Well, here's my sorry, Jake.
and then you can talk, Drew.
My only discrepancy with that is the Scatterboot thing. It's how sustainable is it?
Yeah.
Nature of running the football.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Where the guy,
Yeah.
leads with his head, he's going to medically retire in a couple years. Where it's
Yeah, bro.
understandable. You get Love if he's there. He's the 3-down bell cow back for them. But the only way that's going to happen is if the Titans balk, which they're not. So, yeah, that's my one.
Yeah,
Two
and
instead.
Mm-hmm.
and I think you guys know I had Sony Styles at 4, so I do think the Giants take Jeremiah Love at 5. I don't think maybe it's not the best positional need, but I think he would be the best player at 5, and I think the GM would definitely, he wouldn't be able to pass up on that. So I got Jeremiah Love at 5 to the Giants.
All right, so we're all going defense there. And oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh shit, I'm
I
sorry.
got Love.
Yeah. All right, so okay, so Tom's differed off a little bit there. We'll see how the Giant fans feel about that. I think it's similar to me. The Giants and the Titans are in such a similar spot as to they both could use a blue chip running back. I mean, he's blue chip potential, gold jacket potential. They both could use that. I think it would ignite their offenses a lot, just with their quarterback situation. That they got second-year quarterbacks who have not great but decent wide receiving cores and could really add a whole nother big element to their offensive firepower with a premier running back. So I think the running back makes sense for both of them, but defense is also a gigantic priority. So it's kind of a can't go wrong spot, but I feel like both fan bases do feel like they can go wrong, as people are saying at number 2 with the Jets. And 4 and 5. Can't wait to see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
The Browns are at 6. This is tough, man, because the Browns don't.
This is a hard one.
Yeah, this is a weird spot.
This is a weird spot. The Browns.
It's 6 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why the teams in the top 10 have top 10 overall picks. It's because they have a lot of positions of need. And they're not very good football teams, so they have high picks. Browns are one of them. But the Browns quarterback situation, I'm in Dayton, so I'm friends with a lot of Browns fans. I know a lot of Clevelanders, and a topic that I like to have with my friends out here who are Brownies fans is like, who the hell is going to be under center for you guys week 1 next year? We really don't know. We don't know if it's going to be that. We don't know if it's going to be the man who likes massages.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson. Massage enthusiast Deshaun Watson. I mean, we really don't know. Gabriel back there, probably not. It's probably Shador or Watson. I tend to think it's somehow going to be Deshaun Watson. But one way or another, the quarterback room is a shit show, and so is their offensive line. So for me, it feels like whoever they have under center, they desperately need a tackle. To me, the best tackle in this draft is Monroe Freeling, the OT from Georgia. He's going to go top 10 no matter what. Browns still have more picks. They can make more moves. They need something on defense as well, but they need a tackle, and he's the best one in the draft to me.
So I'm going to disagree here. Their offensive line it's good enough. It gets the job done. I think they go receiver here for their god-awful needs a reality TV show quarterback room. The only thing missing in that quarterback room to make a great reality TV show is they need to bring Jameis back. Well, that's just a conversation for another day. I think they go Makai Lemon at number 6, the Biletnikoff winner out of USC. The guy's electric. He won the Biletnikoff for a reason. I think he just ekes out Carnell Tate with, just the intangibles. Yeah, he's a bit on the smaller side. Crisp route runner and great after the catch. I think they're going to take him at number 6 because the guy's a dynamic playmaker.
Not exactly sure what you mean by good enough for the Browns' offensive line. They had the 31st pass blocking grade, 49.7 according to PFF last year. I know people criticize PFF offensive line grades, but it was pretty dreadful, especially as far as pass blocking.
There's no line talent, and as you said, they pick again. They have a lot of picks where they can just make moves, where it's like they don't have to pick him at number 6. There's going to be offensive linemen later in the first round if they pick. Where I think they're going to take a dynamic playmaker like Lemon at number 6.
Just how comfortable.
So, okay. I'm surprised, yeah. I think there's a good chance that Jordan Tyson goes ahead of Lemon in this draft, though. I don't know. I know the injuries have been a concern for Tyson. I think he missed a whole season with, an ankle or Achilles?
He missed a ton of time this year.
He missed it in his college career, but from a frame standpoint, he's an absolute beast.
Oh, yeah. I'll make a quick point, then we can pass it off. The three receivers, Tate, Tyson, and Lemon. It's almost like was it 2 years ago, where it was Neighbors, a Dunze, and oh god, who's the third guy? Who's the third receiver?
Garrett Wilson?
No, this was 2
Was
years
it Worthy? Was it Worthy?
No, it wasn't Worthy. Oh my god, it was Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors. Oh god, I'm blanking on the third receiver. It might have been Brock Bowers, who's a tight end receiver. Out of like those three, it's who do you take? It's very similar to that, where it's like, no matter who you take.
No, Brock Bowers was a rookie last year.
No, Brock Bowers was the 23 class.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember who the third one is. Might have been Bowers, but it's like it's very similar to those three. You're gonna get playmaking. You're gonna get a ton of offensive talent, and it's like you can't go wrong with one of the three this year of Lemon, Tyson, and Tate. And I will pass it off to you two.
I think they're going to get offensive tackle from Miami. I can't even pronounce his last
Maui
name. Yeah, Francis, whatever his freaking last name is.
Maui
I
Goa,
think-
right?
Maui Goa
Yeah,
stifled
yeah,
Ohio
Maui
State
Goa.
during the playoff this year.
All right, chill. I think he's the clear-cut best offensive lineman in the draft. I don't think there's anyone better than him in the draft, and I think that's the best option for them.
I agree with Jake. I think that's who they're going to go with.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to eliminate because I said clear cut about Freeling. Let's be real about this. There's no real clear cut best offensive lineman. I have seen in a number of different mock drafts the kid from Miami, Magu Goa, Spencer Fano, and Freeling all interchangeably be the first offensive lineman to go off the board. So it's very volatile offensive tackle, offensive line market this year. There's definitely some real tangible talent there, but I don't think clear cut at all. So we'll see how it shakes out, but good predictions there. Let's move forward. Another team where it should be interesting to see where they go is the Washington Commanders. They're picking 7th overall. Look, man, they had the oldest defense in football last year. They were practically at a senior home in their secondary. It was so bad. They desperately need to inject some youth into that defense. They spent a lot of money in free agency to get younger and get fresher and get better for their entire unit. But I think that they also need to add through the draft here. So for me, this is tough. But you got to go with probably the best defensive player left on the board, and that's at safety, and that's Caleb Downs. I mean, Drew talked about the body of work that he put together in school. People criticize him because he doesn't create a lot of turnovers and not a big playmaker guy, not really that sexy in the box score, but he always knows where he's going, what his assignment is, what he's supposed to be doing, and he can play a little bit of like a center fielder and drop back as a safety and be that watchdog, or he could come up and play a little bit closer to the box for you. I think he's very versatile. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He was one of the big leaders for this Ohio State team this season on a really good defense. So that's where I think he ends up, Washington.
Like, I mean, you bring up, like, those are great points. I think they're going to go one of two ways, and it's both Ohio State. It's either they're going to take Caleb Downs or they're going to take Carnell Tate. Because, yes, their defense is god-awful, and so is their receiver room. And if they take Caleb Downs, I think that's the logical pick. You get more youth on your defense. And you bring up the point, like center fielder. You watch his tape, even when he was a freshman at Alabama.
Yes, I
He
forgot.
is
He's a fan.
involved in every single play. He is in every play. The guy is is a missile for the football.
Good points. And Nick Saban praised him too, how much he loved coaching him, how coachable he was, and he had a great career at Bama as well.
One season, he
when
played one
started
season
out.
there.
What?
He played one season and transferred to Ohio State after he retired.
Yeah, I shouldn't say career,
But it was a
he had
memorable
great
one
year.
season.
Yeah, he had a good
Very
year.
memorable one season there for him.
Yeah. Where do you guys think the Commanders go, Jake and Tom?
I think they're going to go Carnell Tate, the pair with the other Ohio State receiver, freaking Terry Scary McLaurin.
Overrated.
So I
Lamar
think
Mitchell's son.
I think that's just your Buckeye colors shining through there.
Yeah, it is. But I think they're getting Carnell Tate.
Like Drew said, I mean, receivers are definitely a massive priority. Scary Terry, as scary as he is getting older.
Mm-hmm.
He's not scary. He's Quinion Mitchell's son.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into that conversation another time.
I think they go cornerback from LSU, Mansour Delane here
Now that's really interesting.
at 7. I think they get a lockdown corner.
I don't think
And
they're going to go corner. They don't need him. They don't need a corner.
I mean, just who I think they're gonna go.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to sit around and say, "Oh, you're wrong." I just didn't expect that.
He can play man or zone. He can guard pretty much anyone. I think they'd be a lockdown for many years to come.
Yeah, it's valid points. I'm not going to sit around and be like, "Oh, you're wrong." No, of course not. We're all if they did pick him at 7, that's not a bad pick at all.
No. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the 8th overall pick, our projections there. It's the Saints. Guys, for me, this has always been easy, even since the infancy of draft talk, right when, pretty much for us Jet fans, that's like Halloween, so it's been a while for us. But since I've been looking at everything, we don't know. Drew mentioned the crop of great wide receiver talent, and we're going to talk more extensively about that when we go towards the Jets pick, because I think we all can agree that they desperately need a pass catcher. You mentioned this trio, Drew. One of the guys involved in that was WR2 at Ohio State this year. That was Carnell Tate. He's a really good player. He's a really good player. I don't think he's a blue chip talent. I don't think he's an elite talent like Jeremiah Love, but he is going to come into the NFL and I think be a really, really, really solid WR2 no matter where he ends up. The Saints, looks like they have a lot of faith in their young quarterback and Tyler Shuck. He finished out the last 8 weeks of the season with New Orleans playing hot football. They need another receiver themselves. And for me, I've always visualized Carnell Tate in a Saints jersey from the beginning. I think that's where he's going. And I've heard a lot of rumblings about the Jets potentially trading up from 16 to go grab one of these top 3 guys, depending on who they like best. But I just think that no trades here, nothing wacky. Carnell Tate to the Saints.
Yeah, I'll back you on this decision where I'm not going to, I kind of disagree. You say, oh, he's not a blue chip. He was not even the number 1 on his own team. You put him on any other team in the country, 95% of the teams in the country, he's their number 1 receiver. But because he plays with future number 1 pick Jeremiah Smith, kind of got overshadowed. But I do think he's going to go what pick are we at? 8 to the Saints. I think it makes the most sense. Young quarterback, you pair him with another elite Ohio State receiver, Chris Olave. Young quarterback, Tyler Shuck, who balled out last year at the end. And a very hot, you know what he can do as a play caller with Kellen Moore. I think Tate's the very obvious pick for them.
So, Jake, you already used up you said Commanders, so the Commanders have the opportunity to draft Tate and do the Scary Terry Tate OSU pairing. You could have just waited another pick and done that with the Saints, but you didn't, so now you got to go somewhere else.
No, I'm going with Caleb Downs on this one. I'm going defense.
Oh, another Buckeye pairing. You haven't said Caleb Downs yet? Okay.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. All right. I respect it.
Yeah, and I got Tate for this pick.
All right.
Get a wide receiver.
All right, so we'll go 3 out of 4 Tate there, and then Jake has the safety going number 8 overall. So the Chiefs have the 9th overall pick. For me, Drew argued about the fit with a cornerback going to Washington. Well, the Chiefs, who have had tremendous success the past 5 years, obviously they missed the playoff this year. Mahomes tears his Achilles late in the season. Very disappointing season for them. They somehow end up top 10 in the NFL draft overall. And that's a team that desperately needs cornerback help, especially with who left? They had a corner who...
Trent McDuffie got traded to the Rams.
Trent McDuffie to the Rams, right? So, so they need corner. Feels like the perfect spot for them to go grab the top corner in this class. That's Mansour Delane out of LSU. Kansas City, game record they're getting on the back end there. Absolute game record. I think he's a really good player. And that's how you replace McDuffie.
I'm going to disagree here a little bit. I think they're going to go with defensive player.
I'll be right back. I got to get my computer charger. Go ahead.
I think they're going to take David Bailey at number 9, stir up that edge, because Chris Jones is getting up there an edge, and they don't really have a true number 2 edge rusher outside of furious George Karlaftis, where I think David Bailey at number 9 makes the most sense. He's there. You get an elite edge rusher to pair with another elite edge rusher and make Steve Spagnuolo's defense even better.
I think they do Ruben Bain here. We both got edge rushers. I think it's Ruben Bain here.
All right, that's fair.
I also have Ruben Bain here for the Chiefs.
All right. So I'll take over here a little bit because Matt's gone. Number 10, in a kind of shocking, not so shocking way, the New York Giants do move on from Dexter Lawrence. They trade him to the Cincinnati Bengals for their number 10 pick, where now it's kind of weird picking at number 10. All the players, this is where it kind of gets a little wishy-washy a little bit. I think personally number 10, and I know Andrew will, they take, I don't know his first name, Vega out of Penn State, the interior offensive lineman, because John Runyon, he's getting up there in age. Daniel Falele is like a revolving door at right guard. I hope he starts, and I hope Jalen Carter goes one-on-one against him twice a year. But I do think they take Vega out of Penn State.
With the Giants at 10?
Yeah, the Giants have the number 10 pick after they traded Dexter Lawrence.
I know, but you don't think they're going to get a receiver?
Wow, beautiful.
He does not think that the Giants are going to get a receiver at 10, Matt.
No, I think they're going to go interior offensive line.
Okay. All right. So, all right, you guys, I lost you for a little bit.
Jake, did you do your pick yet? Where do you want to go?
No. Drew was speaking, and I was just in shock on what he said. But the whole lineman from Penn State, I don't think he's going on. Mine is Lemon, Malachi Lemon.
All right, that's a fair pick.
And for me, I think the Giants get this guy at 10. Some people probably doesn't think he falls, but I think they get Caleb Downs, man. It's going to be a New York Giant. And every Giant fan is going to go crazy when he falls to them. Just wait.
10, that's going to be
Caleb Downs is going to sneak. He's going to sneak the 10, and the Giants are going to snag him.
John Harbaugh loves his safeties. You can tell,
Exactly. Harbaugh was going to love that guy.
Yeah, if he falls to number 10, good for the Giants. It's a home run pick.
Yep.
If he gets to number 10.
Yep. I think this is a weird draft where,
it
could be this guy or that guy. Nobody's really sure. And I do think some really good players are going to fall. And I think some people might, it's going to be interesting. So we'll see if I'm right or not.
Get outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Pick 11 now.
Okay. I didn't go Giants 10 overall. I had to recharge my computer there. New York Giants, 10th overall pick. I wanted to go crazy and say that they trade back because I do think that's a possibility here. This is obviously, for our listeners that aren't aware, the pick that they are inheriting in the Dexter Lawrence trade, where they traded him to the Bengals. We haven't recorded anything since then. That happened game 1 for the Knicks in the fourth quarter. Crazy trade. No additional compensation other than that. No day 3 picks, no second round picks for the Giants there. Just a 10th overall pick for Sexy Dexy Swap. And then the Bengals slap 1 more year on his deal. Now, trading back, I don't really have anything written out or prepared, so I don't know how. I can't predict how it'll shake out. But I do think that trading back is a very serious possibility for them, especially because they can get a quality DT. There's a lot of DT depth in the later part of the first round / second round where you don't feel like you have to reach at 10. If they take Caden McDonald out of Ohio State at 10 overall, that to me feels like a little bit of a reach where maybe they could get a team that's in the 17 to 20 range, the 22 range, that wants the 10th overall pick to come up and get one of these offensive tackles. They could trade back there and take McDonald there. So keep your eye out for that. But as far as this pick goes, man, the Giants, they do have one more spot on that offensive line that needs to be solidified. They did not address both tackle positions in free agency. They were able to retain Jermaine Illuminor, and everything looks good. Their offensive line made massive improvements this year. They got rid of their offensive line coach, Carmen Bracillo, but that's for another day. So I'll go Spencer Fano, 10 overall to the Giants. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the overall pick right now. That is owned by the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins, obviously, they've had quite a busy offseason overall. And look, if this man is still, I can't believe, I don't think anybody said his name yet on this podcast, which is insane that we all have him going as low as 11. But if he's still on the board, the Miami Dolphins will be absolutely enthralled. And that's Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain was a guy who early in the draft process, people were putting his name in the likes of Reese and Bailey as an edge rusher, an elite one out of Miami who is explosive, a little bit smaller frame. He might also have small hands. I can't remember off the top.
Yeah, he's like, one of his big discrepancies is he has short
arms.
T-Rex arms.
Right. But if Ruben Bain is still on the board, Dolphins are thrilled. They desperately need edge help too. They've lost some pieces at that position over the years, so that makes great sense to me there. And man, would new coach, what's his name, Hanley?
No, it's not Mike.
It was an old Packers defensive coordinator.
Yes, I forgot his name. Yeah.
He would be thrilled to pick up Ruben Bain.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your guys?
I think they're going to stick with the trenches. I think they're going to go Fanu at number 11, tackle out of Utah. That team needs offensive line help. That team is a dumpster fire right now. And if you can solidify your offensive line for probable starter Quinn Ewers, I think that's going to be a big get for them.
What about Malik Willis?
Bain, I'm not going to be, it's a bad pick. It's very good. Actually, they're going to take Fanu.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with Drew here. I'm going Spencer Fano as well.
I'm also going Spencer Fano. I really like him. And you got to protect your quarterback at the end of the day.
Yeah, protecting the quarterback, definitely
very important.
And by the way, I think guard is the bigger position in need for the Giants. So that kid out of Penn State might have been a better guess than Fano. So yeah, Fano I could definitely see going to Miami. But predictions have already been made. Let's move forward here. Dallas Cowboys, it's all on Connor Rott. They have the 12th overall pick here, obviously, because Jerry Jones is cheap. They always have positions in need going into the draft. He doesn't spend enough money in free agency usually, although he did pretty good for himself this year in comparison to years past. And before we make our Dallas Cowboys 12th overall pick prediction, did anybody see the best thing that I saw today, which was Jerry Jones fall down the stairs at his press conference? And I think
I haven't seen that. That's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I'll make this quick. You heard the Cowboys being cheap? They overpaid for a kicker this week. Yeah. They recently
massive deal.
This super kicker contract, where now George Pickens will play on a franchise tag, and he will leave at the end of the season because they won't pay him.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones, disaster.
It's definitely an overpay, but Aubrey's a game changer too.
He's the best kicker in the league.
Yeah,
but he's a kicker.
It's still an overpay. Yeah,
but he's a kicker.
But so what was that video? He just fell down the stairs.
So you don't pay the most dynamic defensive player in all of football, in Micah Parsons, but you throw $73 million at fucking.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
He's got his problems, man. I would be so angry if I was a Cowboys fan. But no, yes, to answer your question, Tom, he had a press conference, as he always holds court down there with the Dallas media, because he's a one-man show, and it's like a 4-step flight of stairs. It's like nothing. I mean, the four of us, even Drew and Jake, could probably jump down it. It's like so nothing. That was a cheap shot. That was a low blow, but
yeah, that one. Jamaica.
I'll probably re-aggravate the ankle injury.
Yeah, Drew will re-aggravate his ankle. But so he's going down. You got to see it, and he just stumbles over. And of all people that caught him, it was Bill Clinton, Hillary's husband, that captured him at the end of the stairs. He made a surprise guest appearance at a Dallas Cowboys press conference and saved Jerry's life. So wow, look at the two American heroes looking out for.
There we go.
All right, so with that being said, a little bit of a drift there, but they do have the 12th overall pick. They need receiver, man. I know that George Pickens was really solid for them last year. We saw him torch the Jets in like week 3 or 4. I mean, he just went off there.
I remember that
Yeah, I
game.
remember that one too. I'm sure a lot of guys on the call do. But they could use another perimeter threat. Dak statistically had another really strong season last year, and another dude outside of George Pickens on the perimeter would go a long way for them. And to me, best receiver on the board with Tate already being off. It goes to Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon, easy pick for me. I think Dallas fans will be thrilled if that's how it ends up too.
I think they're going to take Mansour Delane. Their defense is good old Swiss cheese, as they like to say. They got torched last season, every game. I think they're going to take Mansour Delane. He's going to be their CB1, probably. And when he develops, I think that's a surefire no-brainer for them, is going to be Mansour Delane.
I agree with Drew here. I have the same pick, Mansour Delane, but with the Cowboys pick.
I'm going with Mekhi Lemon here. I think the same as what Matt had. Shout out Ryan Fitz, Cowboys fan. They're gonna get his guy.
Does he like Lemon?
I'm not sure if he does, but he's a big Cowboys fan, so just giving him a shout out for this pick. I think he'll be a great fit with Pickens, though.
Absolutely. So we got two corner with the same player, 2-2 corner, both perimeter guys, corner and wide receiver for Dallas at 12. Moving on to the third. What does CBS have here? It's throwing me off. 13th pick is the Rams.
Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the Rams who. This is call your shot, man. I mean, the Rams have hit on so many late round picks over the years. Puka Nacua, bunch of guys that really the only guy on their team that was a first round pick that's been one of their bigger impact players is Jared Verse. Other than that, pretty much most of the talent that they've gotten through the draft has been in the later rounds. They've mastered the art of day 3 picks and whatnot. It's so hard to say where they go here. I don't know. I don't really know their positions of need that much, so I think they add another receiver, especially if they end up trading Devontae Adams, which is suddenly looking like a real possibility for them. So I'm going to give you my hottest prediction take of the draft so far. I think they're going to go with the reigning national champion, Omar Cooper Jr., out of Indiana, receiver. It's a luxury pickup for them, but I could see them trading Adams. Maybe things get a little bit wacky. The Rams are on the phone a lot tomorrow, and they add a young, dynamic wide receiver.
Wow.
You think they're going to trade?
I do. No, I really do. I think they're going to trade Adams.
I really don't think they're going to do that. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, their front office is stupid. They make all these...
Well, they're in the playoffs every year, so...
Yeah, obviously, I'm not going to say they're dumb, but it's just like, I don't know. They haven't picked in the first round in I don't know how long, it feels like.
He was the one and done with the Jets.
I have no idea where they're going.
No, he was half and done with the Jets.
I have no idea who they're going. I can't even give you a pick. It's such a weird pick. Where I'm almost going to say with Matt, Omar Cooper.
All right.
You're going to say...
So you really think that even if they keep, can you be a little bit more realistic there? They'd have Puka, Cooper, and, I mean...
I couldn't even tell you.
All right.
Because all these mocks I'm seeing has Mekhi Lemon going there, and I've used Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll throw a shot in the dark, a haymaker. They'll trade out of 13. Because I don't even know at this point.
All right. What are Jake and Thomas Fitzpatrick's predictions here?
I think they're going to go offensive line to protect the fragile old man Stafford. I think they're going to go Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I think he's the second best lineman, or third best lineman in the draft. So I'm picking him.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't really know for this one either. I'm going to say the Rams trade back too.
Lame. All right.
But if I had to throw a prediction, did I say Jordan Tyson yet? I don't even remember.
No, you didn't.
If I didn't, I'll go with Jordan Tyson here.
Okay. All right. So a lot of receivers, and then Jake picks up an offensive lineman there. Okay. Let's move on to Baltimore. They could use. Here's a swing guy, a guy that is very versatile. Ravens need some help on their offensive line. It isn't fully complete yet. A guy that can play some guard for you, big size and frame, prototypical kind of Raven, hard worker, keep your head down. I think he's staying States, the Penn State native. I don't know how to pronounce his full name, but
Olai Vavega Ione.
That's who I have too. I have him
Whoever
too.
that
man.
is, that was my pick as well.
Sounds Polynesian. Sounds like a badass.
yeah.
I said he's gonna get picked. So, whatever that tackle from Georgia. That
This
Jake-
is the Ravens,
Yeah,
right?
Ravens at 14.
Yeah, Ravens.
I could see I think the Ravens.
Yeah, I think they're
Take
gonna
him.
take the tackle out of Georgia. I forgot his name.
Monroe Freeland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monroe Freeland. I think they're gonna need to solidify that O line.
Yeah.
I think they take Ola. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Yeah, same.
Vavega Ione.
that's a pretty sick name. Not gonna lie.
So I need to see a picture. Oh, yep. What did I know? Big Polynesian dude.
I think he goes to the
Those
Ravens.
Polynesian offensive linemen are badasses.
All right, let's move on here. 15th overall pick. I was just looking at CBS Sports. They had an interesting, the first round trade that they predicted. They predicted that the Buccaneers swap with Philadelphia at the 15th pick. Drew, wouldn't you like to see that? And it had Monroe Freeling, the guy whose name you couldn't say, going to the Eagles at 15. So that was an interesting prediction, but that's not mine. I think that the Buccaneers are going to take the second edge rusher out of Miami. He will not be moving states, and that's Akeem Mesidor, the edge from Miami. Look, Mesidor gets criticized a lot by draft prospects and analysts for being older, been around a lot, but that does bring a certain NFL floor. I think this guy's going to come in, be like a second kind of fiddle to David Bailey, where you can plug and play him at edge right away, and he's going to have an immediate impact for them. Pro-ready hands, pass rush plan, and that fits really well into a blitz-heavy Todd Bowles scheme. Todd Bowles loves adding defensive players. He lives to see another year down in Tampa, and I think they go defense here.
I think they go defense. I think they're going to take Ruben Bain here at 15 because he is the best available at that position. But if they do end up taking Mesidor because if Bain goes earlier, that's a very good pick as well. It's going to go either way. It's who's there.
Yeah.
Bain.
I'm excited to see which. I think the consensus, go ahead, I'll let you talk in a second, Jake, but I think the consensus throughout most people is that Bain is a little bit more ready and probably going to go ahead of Mesidor, but it'll be very interesting to see who goes first there. Go ahead, Jake.
I think they're going to get tight end from Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq. I think they're going to get another weapon. Mike Evans leaving, so they need another freaking goal line scorer, basically, to get the touchdown. I think they're going to get Kenyon Sadiq.
And I think they go Mesidor at 15, the Bucks.
All right, so we did all 15, but we can't just stop there because you know who's next on the clock. That's the Jets.
The New York Jets,
The
baby.
second pick of their 2 first-round picks at 16. And Jake and Tom, I want to get your take on this. I feel like for the Jets, it wouldn't be the most flooring thing in the world if they doubled down on defense, went defense at 2 and 16. But I think all of us would be pretty surprised if they go into this next season with Adonai Mitchell as their 2 and Isaiah Williams as their 3. I mean, they desperately need receiving depth. We all know it. There's really nobody left out there in the free agency board, no sexy pickups. Feels like the Jets have to go receiver at 16, and Darren Muji ought to have learned his lesson from last year because while he made a lot of really savvy in-season trades and plugged and play, and we love the Brownlee acquisition, we love the 2 DTs that he picked up in Harrison Phillips and Juwan Briggs, and a lot of the other things he did, obviously the big ones, the mid-season trades with Sauce and Quinnen. But the biggest mistake that I pin on Darren Muji in his year 1 go-around as GM was not addressing the receiver room quite enough. I mean, it was just abysmal last year. The fact that Garrett Wilson, who didn't even play half the fucking year, led for us in passing yards is utterly, completely ridiculous. I mean,
If we don't take receiver here, we're
The
actually,
no
I don't know what we're doing.
interception stat is obviously the most jarring and the one that NFL fans will laugh about forever with the 2025 Jets. But to me, that Garrett Wilson stat is just as equally embarrassing. Darren Mooney will have learned his lesson from last year. They will go receiver at 16. And I think that Jordan Tyson is still on the board, and I freaking love this kid. So, Jordan Tyson, baby, let's go.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who's on the board between Tyson and Omar Cooper. If I had the
Or Denzel Boston. He's very good too.
Or
Big
Den-
physical frame.
yeah, Denzel Boston. He's the sneaky one. I don't see him going. If he goes in the first round to the very end or the beginning of the second, but I do think they're going to go Jordan Tyson if he's available, best available. The guy is a vertical threat, which they're going to need. That team needs as much help as they can with Geno Smith throwing them the football.
Yeah, for real. I got
He's a
Jordan
Tamar
Tyson as
Austin-type
well.
Player.
I would want Jordan Tyson, but I don't think he'll be available. So I think we'll take Omar Cooper. And if we don't go receiver at 16, I don't even know what I would say. It's not like we're bringing in Patrick Mahomes here. We're bringing in frickin' Geno Smith. So you better give him some weapons after that insane stat for a wide receiver let us who barely played half the season. So if that's not a crystal ball to pick a wide receiver here, we should fire the whole frickin' organization.
Yeah, you got to do it, and I hope that Tyson is still on the board. It's going to be a really tougher decision for the Jets if there's no Tyson, there's no Tate, there's no Lemon, and there's no, who am I missing?
Cooper. Omar Cooper.
Yeah, Omar Cooper.
If the three of those guys are off the board, that really hurts. To me, Omar Cooper or Denzel Boston are, I guess, fine, interchangeable, but the only world in which the Jets do go double defense here is if those three that I mentioned in Tate, Lemon, and Tyson are gone. If one of those guys are still on the board and they decide that they want, I don't know.
Would you trade down at that time if those
Or
three
you
were all
trade down.
gone?
Or you trade down.
I think that's what the Jets would do, but I really hope one of them's still available.
Or you trade down because.
Or you trade up and try to get one of them.
Or you try. I've been there's been some steam on that about. I heard some Jets podcasters discuss today the possibility of moving from 16 up to like 7 or 8 to go grab, like trade 8 with the Saints. Saints get the 16th pick. We pick up Carnell Tate there, and then we can retain the assets in the later rounds. So. I mean, you retain those assets, that's fine with me. I'd actually be pretty thrilled. But I mean, if the Jets can walk away tomorrow with Arbel Reese and they trade up, they move up a little bit, give up some compensation on the back end for Carnell Tate. I mean, we're talking Reese and Tate in the first round, phenomenal. That would be my dream scenario. So to go outside, Garrett Wilson on the other side perimeter, that would be awesome. So that's my dream draft, but I just say we go straight up there. I say Jordan Tyson's still on the board, and we get a beast from out west. So, all right, guys. Thank you for coming. Go ahead. All right. Yeah, go ahead. What did the Eagles do?
It pains me to say this. In the perfect world, they're going to take Kenyon Sadiq, but I don't think he's going to be there.
No
In
way
the
he's
perfect
there,
world,
man.
As sad as it is, they're going to need to draft Lane Johnson's replacement when the time comes. And there's two guys. Number one is Caden Proctor out of Alabama. That's the dream.
Terrible. He's like Evan Neal. I think of him
Jay
as
thinks
Evan
he's
Neal.
got He's got flipping burgers.
He's got
all
Evan
over
Neal.
him.
Okay, that's fair. That's the perfect world if he's there. Everyone has a mock to go to Detroit. But a name no one talks about, who I've done a little research on, Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. I think that's who they're going to take best available.
I have the Lions getting him, actually.
Who? Blake Miller?
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those two guys where it's painful to say they're going to have to draft Lane Johnson's replacement, most likely. But these guys, both of them aren't going to play immediately. But I think they're going to go offensive tackle unless Kenyon Sadiq is available. Because if we read the reports, we read the tweets, with the likelihood of A.J. Brown getting traded, good riddance, buddy. Grass isn't always greener. But if they do somehow get Kenyon Sadiq, I'll be very thrilled. Huge offensive threat. But as I said, they're going to draft Lane Johnson's replacement, whether that be Caden Proctor or Blake Miller.
Yeah, I know you're not directly replacing AJ.
Not in the moment.
Yeah. Let me just say, I know you're not directly replacing AJ Brown by drafting Kenyon Sadiq because we've all seen the report, and if you haven't, it's expected that after the draft, AJ Brown is going to be traded to the New England Patriots. So
June 2nd. Have fun paying his super big contract that he's. We're gonna need a whole separate show for me to go on and on about AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I will say this real quick: the grass isn't always greener. If you want to go stat pad on a worse team, go for it. I wish you nothing but the worst.
yeah, so you're not drafting his direct replacement in Kenyon Sadiq, that being Brown, but you are adding another pass catcher, big frame body, guy that Jalen Hurts can throw up and he can go down and get it. So that would be a good fit in my opinion. And then, like you said, I mean, in both worlds, they're kind of drafting replacements. You're replacing A.J. Brown in a way as a playmaker and a pass catcher, or with Miller, you're replacing Lane Johnson, who's going to be retiring after the conclusion of this season. So that's where Philly sits.
Next year, future Hall of Famer Lane Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. What a
Big
career!
shoes to follow.
What a career!
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps up our little draft show. We covered a lot. Man, people at Strenuous, man, we did all 30. That would be here all night. But we got through half the league, fellas. 16 picks. We're all fired up for tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Right? 8 p.m. ESPN.
Yeah, I think so.
8 o'clock, ESPN.
8 o'clock.
4 first rounders for our local New York football teams will be locked in. I will record my reaction to the second overall pick and put it on Instagram. And I might be using some explicitives
Like
if
David
I hear Bailey. I wasn't happy about that move last year. I'm pretty happy about it now.
O'Connor, they draft David Bailey at number 2.
Yeah.
It will
We'll
almost
see.
be up there with take the Xavier Gibson touchdown reaction, which I have the video of, and just take the polar opposite if they draft David Bailey.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to be emotional one way or another, but looking forward to it. We will know in about 20, 21 hours. So
Less than
we're
24
gonna
hours.
get this episode out on YouTube ASAP. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great night. See ya.